Welcome to Tales by Felix, where every story unlocks a new world. Remember to subscribe, like and share. Let's begin. A sun-dappled suburban home, its white picket fence gleaming under a golden afternoon glow. Inside, Sarah Thompson, 38, a warm but quietly weary woman with chestnut hair and expressive hazel eyes, arranges a vase of fresh lilies on the dining table. The house hums with the soft clatter of domestic life, dishes being washed, a radio playing a soft pop tune, and the laughter of her 16-year-old daughter, Emily, drifting from the living room. Sarah's husband, Mark, 40, a charming financial consultant with a disarming smile, flips pancakes in the kitchen, his apron slightly askew. "Mom, you're gonna love this." Emily calls, her voice bright as she sprawls on the couch with her best friend, Chloe, 17, a vivacious girl with a cascade of blonde curls and an easy laugh. The two are scrolling through Chloe's phone, giggling over a meme. Sarah smiles, but her eyes linger on Chloe, who's become a near-constant presence in their home over the past year. There's something about Chloe's comfort here, her casual way of opening the fridge, her teasing banter with Mark, that feels just a touch too familiar. "Dinner in 10, Mark announces, tossing a pancake with a flourish. Emily cheers, but Sarah notices how Chloe's eyes flicker toward Mark, a quick, almost imperceptible glance that carries a weight Sarah can't quite name. She brushes it off, chalking it up to her own fatigue. After all, their life is picture-perfect. Mark's steady job, Emily's straight-A record, their cozy home. But as Sarah sets the table, that fleeting glance gnaws at her, a tiny crack in the polished surface of her world. At dinner, the conversation flows easily, but subtle tensions simmer beneath the surface. "Chloe, you staying over again?" Mark asks, passing her the mashed potatoes. Chloe grins, her voice light. "If Sarah's cool with it. I mean, your couch is comfier than my bed at home." Sarah forces a smile. "Of course, Chloe. You're practically family." The words feel heavier than she intends. Emily, oblivious, chimes in, "She is family, Mom." "Right, Dad." Mark chuckles, his eyes meeting Chloe's for a split second too long. "Right, kiddo." As the meal ends, Sarah clears the plates, her hands trembling slightly. In the kitchen, she overhears Chloe whisper to Mark, "You sure about tomorrow?" His reply is too low to catch, but the intimacy in their tone sends a chill down Sarah's spine. She pauses, gripping the edge of the sink, her reflection in the window showing a woman on the edge of doubt. The next morning, Sarah sips coffee at the kitchen counter, her mind replaying last night's whisper. She tells herself it's nothing, Chloe's just a teenager, Mark's just being friendly. But the unease lingers like a stubborn fog. Emily bounds downstairs, her backpack slung over one shoulder. "Mom, can Chloe come over after school? We're working on our history project." "Sure, honey," Sarah says, her voice strained. She watches Emily leave, then turns to Mark, who's scrolling through his phone, his brow furrowed. "Late night at the office again?" she asks, trying to sound casual. Mark doesn't look up. "Yeah, big client meeting. Probably won't be home till 9. Sarah nods, but her eyes narrow. Mark's late nights have become more frequent, his excuses vaguer. She thinks back to their early years, date nights, shared dreams, the way he used to look at her. Now, there's a distance she can't bridge. Later, at the grocery store, Sarah runs into her neighbor, Lisa, a chatty woman with a knack for gossip. As they browse the produce aisle, Lisa leans in, her voice low. "Saw Mark's car parked downtown last week, near that new cafe. Odd, since he's always at the office, right?" She winks, but her words hit Sarah like a punch. "Probably just grabbing coffee," Sarah says, forcing a laugh. But Lisa's comment plants a seed, and by the time Sarah's unloading groceries at home, her mind is racing. She glances at Mark's jacket, hanging by the door. On impulse, she checks the pockets. Nothing but a receipt for a coffee shop she's never heard of, dated last Tuesday, when Mark claimed he was working late. That evening, Chloe and Emily are sprawled on the living room floor, surrounded by textbooks. Sarah watches from the kitchen, noting how Chloe's laugh seems to brighten when Mark walks in. "Hey girls, how's the project?" he asks, ruffling Emily's hair but glancing at Chloe. "Awesome, thanks to Chloe's genius," Emily says. Chloe blushes, and Sarah catches another fleeting look between her and Mark. It's subtle, but it's there, a shared secret, a spark. Sarah's grip tightens on her coffee mug. Sarah's suspicion festers like a wound. She's not the type to snoop, but the coffee shop receipt and those whispered words push her past her comfort zone. It's late, and Mark's still not home. Emily's asleep, and Chloe left hours ago. Sarah sits at the kitchen table, Mark's laptop open in front of her. Her heart pounds as she hesitates, then types his password, Emily's birthday. It works. She scrolls through his emails, finding nothing but work correspondence. Then she checks his browser history. Most of it's mundane, news sites, financial reports, but one link catches her eye, a deleted search for a hotel downtown, dated 2 weeks ago. Her stomach twists. Why would Mark need a hotel in their own city? She moves to his phone, left charging on the counter. It's locked, but she tries the same password. The screen unlocks, revealing a string of notifications. Most are from work, but one text from an unsaved number stands out. Same time tomorrow? C. Sarah's breath catches. C for Chloe. She scrolls up, but the conversation's been deleted, leaving only that single message. The front door creaks open, and Sarah slams the phone down, her heart racing. Mark walks in, loosening his tie. "You're up late," he says, his tone casual but his eyes wary. "Couldn't sleep," Sarah replies, her voice tight. "How was the meeting?" "Fine. Just the usual grind." He grabs a glass of water, avoiding her gaze. "You okay? You look tense." Sarah forces a smile. "Just tired." But as he heads upstairs, she stares at his phone, the screen now dark. The camera lingers on her trembling hands, then cuts to a flashback. Mark and Chloe laughing together at a barbecue last summer, their shoulders brushing. Her modest apartment, where she's getting ready for school. Her room is cluttered, a stark contrast to the Thompsons' pristine home. She slips on a new silver bracelet, its shine catching the light. It's expensive, out of place among her thrift store clothes. She pauses, staring at it, her expression conflicted. At school, Chloe and Emily walk through the halls, laughing, but Chloe's distracted. When Emily mentions a sleepover, Chloe hesitates. "I might have plans," she says, her voice faltering. "Plans?" Emily teases. "What, you got a secret boyfriend now?" Chloe laughs, but it's forced. "Nah, just stuff." Her eyes dart away, and the camera catches a flicker of guilt. Later, Chloe's at a coffee shop, the same one from Mark's receipt. She's alone, scrolling through her phone, when Mark slides into the booth across from her. The camera angles tightly, capturing their hushed conversation. "You can't keep coming over like nothing's changed," Chloe whispers, her voice tense. Sarah's starting to notice. Mark leans forward, his tone smooth. "She's just stressed. You're Emily's best friend. She trusts you. We just need to be careful." Chloe fidgets with her bracelet. "This isn't right, Mark. Emily's my best friend. If she ever—" "She won't," Mark cuts in, his voice firm. "We're not hurting anyone. This is just us." Chloe's face, torn between longing and shame. She nods, but her eyes glisten with unshed tears. As Mark leaves, she stares at the bracelet, a gift he gave her, its weight a reminder of her betrayal. Back at the Thompson house, Sarah watches Chloe arrive for the sleepover, her eyes lingering on the bracelet. "That's pretty," Sarah says, her voice deceptively light. "No." Chloe startles. Yeah. Just a gift." Her smile is brittle, and Sarah's eyes narrow. Sarah's suspicion has hardened into resolve. She's no longer the trusting wife, she's a detective in her own life. She starts tracking Mark's movements, using an app to monitor his car's GPS. The data confirms her fears. Every Thursday, he takes a detour to a quiet street downtown, far from his office. The same street as the hotel from his browser history. One Thursday, Sarah decides to follow him. She tells Emily she's running errands, her hands shaking as she grips the steering wheel. The camera follows her through the city, the tension building with a pulsing soundtrack. She parks a block away from the hotel, watching as Mark's car pulls into the lot. Her breath hitches as Chloe steps out of the passenger seat, her blonde hair unmistakable. They don't touch, but their familiarity is palpable. Chloe's quick smile, Mark's hand grazing her back as they enter the hotel. Sarah doesn't follow them inside. She can't. Her hands tremble as she snaps a photo from her car, the image blurry but damning. Back home, she sits in the dark, staring at the photo on her phone. Emily's laughter echoes from upstairs, where she's video chatting with Chloe, oblivious to the betrayal. Sarah's phone buzzes, a text from Lisa, "Saw Mark downtown again. You okay?" Sarah doesn't reply. Instead, she opens her laptop, creating a folder labeled Evidence. She uploads the photo, her face a mask of determination and heartbreak. The camera pans to a family photo on the wall, Sarah, Mark, and Emily, smiling in better times. A single tear rolls down Sarah's cheek. Sarah sitting alone in the dimly lit kitchen, the photo of Mark and Chloe at the hotel still open on her phone. Her face is a storm of emotions, anger, betrayal, but also a flicker of self-doubt. The house is quiet, Emily asleep upstairs, and Mark's late again. The clock ticks past 10 p.m., each second amplifying Sarah's resolve. When the front door finally creaks open, she straightens, steeling herself. Mark walks in, loosening his tie, his face tired but guarded. "Still up?" he asks, grabbing a beer from the fridge. Sarah's voice is low, controlled. "We need to talk, Mark." He freezes, his hand on the fridge door. "About what?" His tone is casual, but his eyes flicker with unease. Sarah slides her phone across the counter, the hotel photo glowing on the screen. "About this. About why you're lying to me." Mark's face pales, but he recovers quickly, forcing a laugh. "What? That's just... Chloe needed a ride. Emily asked me to pick her up. From a hotel." Sarah's voice sharpens, cutting through his excuse. "At 7 p.m.? Stop it, Mark. I'm not stupid." The air thickens with tension. Mark sets the beer down, his jaw tight. "You're blowing this out of proportion, Sarah. You're stressed, I get it, but don't make something out of nothing." "Don't," Sarah snaps, her voice trembling. "Don't gaslight me. You've been distant for months. Late nights, secret texts, that look you give her." "I see it, Mark." He steps closer, his voice softening, manipulative. "Sarah, come on. You're my wife. I'd never do anything to hurt you or Emily. Chloe's just a kid." Sarah's eyes glisten, but she holds her ground. "Then explain the hotel. Explain the texts. Explain why you're lying." Mark hesitates, his mask slipping for a moment before he shrugs. "I can't talk to you when you're like this. Let's sleep on it, okay?" He turns, heading upstairs, leaving Sarah alone with her doubts. Her face, torn between fury and heartbreak. She whispers to herself, "I know what I saw." The next day, Sarah's doubt battles her certainty, but she's not ready to let go. She needs proof, something undeniable. The chapter opens with her driving through the city, her hands gripping the wheel, her eyes scanning the streets. She's following Mark again, this time without a plan, driven by instinct. The camera cuts between her tense expression and the bustling city, the soundtrack a low, pulsing beat that mirrors her heartbeat. Mark's car weaves through traffic, and Sarah follows at a distance, her heart pounding. He pulls into a secluded park, far from his office, and parks near a cluster of trees. Sarah parks a block away, her breath shallow as she watches. Chloe emerges from a side path, her blonde hair catching the sunlight. They don't embrace, but their body language is intimate. Mark's hand brushes her arm, Chloe's smile is nervous but warm. They sit on a bench, heads close, talking in hushed tones. Sarah can't hear them, but she doesn't need to. She snaps photos from her car, her hands shaking. The camera zooms in on one shot, Mark leaning toward Chloe, their faces inches apart. It's not a kiss, but it's close enough to shatter any lingering doubt. Sarah's breath catches, a sob escaping her lips. Back home, she sits in her car in the driveway, staring at the photos. Emily's voice breaks through, calling from the porch. "Mom, you okay? You've been out here forever." Sarah forces a smile, hiding her phone. "Just needed a minute, sweetie." But as Emily bounds back inside, Sarah's facade cracks. She buries her face in her hands, the weight of the truth crushing her. The camera pans to the photos on her phone, then cuts to a flashback. Sarah and Mark's wedding day, their smiles radiant, now a cruel contrast to the present. Sarah's world is unraveling, but she's not ready to confront Mark again, not without irrefutable evidence. The chapter opens with her at work, a marketing manager at a small firm, staring blankly at her computer. Her colleague, Jen, notices her distraction. "Sarah, you look like you haven't slept in days. Everything okay at home?" Sarah hesitates, then shakes her head. "Just a rough patch." But Jen's concern plants a seed. She needs to act, not just react. That evening, Sarah waits until Mark's asleep, then slips into his home office. She searches his desk, finding nothing but bills and work papers. Desperate, she checks his email again, this time noticing a new account logged in, one she doesn't recognize. Her heart races as she opens it, finding a single email from Chloe, sent yesterday. "Meet me at the usual spot. I need to talk." Attached is a photo, a selfie of Chloe, smiling, in a hotel room. The same hotel. Sarah's hands tremble as she forwards the email to herself, then deletes the evidence from Mark's sent folder. She hears footsteps and freezes, but it's just Emily, grabbing a glass of water. "Mom, why are you up?" Emily asks, yawning. "Couldn't sleep," Sarah says, her voice hollow. Emily nods, oblivious, and heads back to bed. Sarah collapses into the chair, the email open on the screen. The camera zooms in on the photo of Chloe, her smile a dagger in Sarah's heart. She whispers, "How could you both do this?" The focus shifts to Emily, her world still untouched by the storm brewing around her. In her bedroom, laughing with Chloe over a video call. "You're coming to my game tomorrow, right?" Emily asks, her eyes bright. "You're like my good luck charm." Chloe's smile falters, but she recovers quickly. "Wouldn't miss it, Em." The camera catches the guilt in her eyes, a fleeting shadow Emily doesn't see. At school, Emily's the star of the soccer team, her energy infectious. Chloe cheers from the sidelines, but her enthusiasm feels forced. Sarah watches from the bleachers, her heart aching as she sees Emily's blind trust in her best friend. After the game, Emily runs to Chloe, hugging her tightly. "You're the best," she says, oblivious to the tension in Chloe's posture. Sarah approaches, her voice tight. "Nice game, Emily." "Chloe, thanks for coming." Chloe meets Sarah's gaze, her eyes nervous. "No problem. I love watching her play." Sarah's face, her pain masked by a brittle smile. Later at home, Emily shows Sarah a scrapbook she's making for Chloe's birthday. "She's been my best friend forever, Mom. I don't know what I'd do without her." Each photo, Chloe and Emily at the beach, at prom, at sleepovers, twists the knife in Sarah's heart. She knows the truth will destroy Emily, and the thought is unbearable. Alone in her room, Sarah clutches the scrapbook, tears falling. A photo of Emily and Chloe, their arms around each other, then cuts to the hotel photo on Sarah's phone. The contrast is devastating. Sarah can't carry the weight alone anymore. Her at a coffee shop, meeting her best friend, Rachel, a no-nonsense lawyer with a sharp wit. Sarah's hands shake as she slides her phone across the table, showing Rachel the hotel photo and Chloe's email. Rachel's eyes widen, then narrow. "That bastard. And Chloe, Emily's best friend?" "Sarah." "I know," Sarah interrupts, her voice breaking. "I don't know what to do, Rach. I can't let Emily find out like this, but I can't pretend it's not happening." Rachel leans forward, her voice firm. "You need to protect yourself and Emily. Document everything, photos, texts, anything. If this goes legal, you'll need it." "Legal?" Sarah's voice cracks. "I don't even know if I can face him again." "You will," Rachel says, gripping her hand. "You're stronger than you think." "But Emily, you have to think about how this will hit her. She worships Chloe. And Mark." Sarah nods, tears streaming. "I keep seeing her face, Rach. She's going to hate me for breaking her world apart." "She won't," Rachel says softly. "She'll need you more than ever. But you need to be ready, for Mark's lies, for Chloe's excuses, for the fallout." Back home, Sarah starts a journal, writing down every detail. Mark's late nights, the GPS data, the photos. The camera follows her pen, each word a step toward reclaiming her power. As she closes the journal, she whispers, "For Emily." Sarah's heartbreak has hardened into resolve. In her home office, the glow of her laptop illuminating her determined face. Her journal lies open, filled with meticulous notes, timestamps from Mark's GPS, screenshots of Chloe's email, and the damning hotel photo. She's no longer just a betrayed wife, she's a woman building a case. The camera pans over her notes, each entry a testament to her pain and purpose. Rachel's advice echoes in her mind: document everything. Sarah creates a secure cloud folder, uploading every piece of evidence. She hesitates over a new text from Mark: late again tonight. Client dinner. Her jaw tightens. She cross-references the date with his GPS data, another detour to the hotel street. She adds it to her file, her hand steady despite the tremor in her heart. At breakfast, Emily chatters about her upcoming soccer tournament, oblivious to the storm brewing. "Chloe's coming to cheer me on," she says, grinning. Sarah forces a smile, her stomach churning. "That's great, honey," she manages, but her eyes linger on Emily's innocent joy. Later, Sarah meets Rachel at a park, away from prying eyes. "I'm ready to confront him," Sarah says, her voice low but firm. "But I need to do this right, for Emily." Rachel nods, her lawyer's mind at work. "Get him to admit it, Sarah. Record it if you can. He'll try to twist things, but don't let him. And think about Emily. How much do you tell her, and when?" Sarah's face crumples. "I don't know how to break her heart, Rach. But I can't let him keep lying to us." "You won't," Rachel says, gripping her shoulder. "You're her rock. She'll need you when this blows up." Back home, Sarah hides her journal in a locked drawer, her eyes scanning the house, once a sanctuary, now a battlefield. The camera zooms in on her face, resolute yet haunted, as she whispers, "No more lies." The focus shifts to Chloe, peeling back the layers of her betrayal. In her cramped apartment, where she's staring at the silver bracelet Mark gave her, its shine a bitter reminder. A flashback reveals a moment months ago, Mark at her doorstep, offering the bracelet with a charming smile. "You deserve something nice," he'd said, his hand lingering on hers. Chloe, vulnerable after a fight with her neglectful parents, had melted under his attention. Now, at school, Chloe avoids Emily's gaze in the hallway. Emily, oblivious, waves her over. "You okay?" "You've been weird lately," Emily says, her brow furrowed. Chloe forces a laugh. "Just stressed. College apps, you know." Emily buys it, but the camera catches Chloe's guilt-ridden expression. Later, alone in the school bathroom, Chloe stares at her reflection, her eyes red. "What am I doing?" she mutters, splashing water on her face. A text from Mark buzzes, "Meet me tonight." Usual place. She hesitates, then types, "Okay." At the hotel, Chloe waits in the lobby, her posture tense. Mark arrives, his charm dialed up. "You're overthinking this," he says, brushing her hair back. "We're not hurting anyone." Chloe pulls away, her voice shaking. "Emily's my best friend. Mark. If she finds out." "She won't," Mark cuts in, his tone sharp. "Unless you tell her." Chloe's eyes glisten, torn between desire and shame. The camera flashes back to her and Emily as kids, giggling over shared secrets, a stark contrast to the present. As Chloe leaves the hotel, she clutches the bracelet, then slips it off, shoving it into her pocket. Sarah's ready to strike. Her in the kitchen, setting up her phone to record audio discreetly. Mark walks in, tossing his keys on the counter. "Good day," he asks, his tone casual. Sarah's voice is calm, deliberate. "Sit down, Mark. We need to talk." He sighs, sensing the tension. "Sarah, if this is about the other night." "It's about this," she says, sliding her phone across the table. The hotel photo glows on the screen, followed by Chloe's email. Mark's face drains of color, his charm evaporating. "That's not what it looks like," he stammers, but his voice lacks conviction. "Then what is it?" Sarah's voice rises, sharp and unyielding. "You're sneaking around with my daughter's best friend, Mark. Texts, hotels, secret meetings. Don't lie to me." Mark's eyes dart, searching for an escape. "It's not an affair, okay? Chloe's. She's just confused. She came to me for advice, and it got complicated." Complicated. Sarah laughs bitterly. You're sleeping with a teenager, Mark. My daughter's best friend. How could you? Mark stands, pacing. It's not like that. I care about her, Sarah. And you've been so distant, always working, always with Emily. Don't you dare blame me. Sarah shouts, tears streaming. You betrayed us. You betrayed Emily. Mark's face hardens. What are you gonna do, Sarah? Ruin our family over this? Think about Emily. Sarah's voice drops, icy. I am thinking about her. And I'm done protecting you. Catches the red light of the recording phone, then zooms in on Mark's defeated expression. The truth begins to ripple outward. Sarah at Rachel's house, replaying the recorded confrontation. Rachel listens, her face grim. You've got him, Sarah. This is enough for a divorce lawyer, if that's what you want. Sarah nods, her eyes hollow. I don't know what I want yet. But Emily, I have to tell her before someone else does. Meanwhile, whispers spread. Lisa, the nosy neighbor, spots Chloe leaving the Thompson house and texts a friend, something's up with Mark and that girl. The friend shares it in a group chat, and the gossip takes root. At a local cafe, Sarah overhears two acquaintances murmuring about Mark's late nights. Her face burns with humiliation, but she keeps her head high. At home, Mark is distant, sleeping on the couch. He corners Sarah in the hallway, his voice low. You're making a mistake, Sarah. If you tell Emily, you'll destroy her. You already did that, Sarah snaps, brushing past him. But his words haunt her. The camera cuts to Chloe, who's been dodging Emily's calls. She's at the park, staring at her phone, where Emily's latest text reads, Why are you ghosting me? Chloe's fingers hover over the keyboard, but she doesn't reply. By evening, the tension is palpable. Sarah sits Emily down, her heart pounding. Sweetie, there's something we need to talk about, she starts, but the doorbell rings. Lisa, dropping off a casserole with a knowing look. Sarah hesitates, the moment interrupted. Emily in her room, scrolling through her phone, confused by Chloe's silence. She finds an old photo of them at a carnival, smiling, and texts it to Chloe with a message, Miss this. Talk to me. There's no reply. The camera lingers on Emily's hurt expression, her innocence a ticking time bomb. At school, Emily overhears a classmate's whisper, heard Chloe's been sneaking around with some older guy. Emily laughs it off, but the seed of doubt is planted. She confronts Chloe at lunch, her voice playful but edged. Okay, spill. Who's this mystery guy everyone's talking about? Chloe freezes, her eyes wide. It's nobody. Just stupid rumors. Emily frowns, unconvinced. You've been weird, Chloe. If something's wrong, you can tell me. We're best friends. Chloe's face crumples, but she forces a smile. I'm fine, Em. Promise. The camera catches her trembling hands, hidden under the table. That evening, Sarah tries again to talk to Emily, but Emily's distracted, scrolling through Chloe's social media. She pauses on a photo of Chloe wearing the silver bracelet, posted weeks ago with a vague caption, Feeling special. Emily's brow furrows. She doesn't recognize the bracelet. Sarah takes a deep breath, her voice gentle. Emily, there's something you need to know about your dad and Chloe. But before she can continue, Emily's phone buzzes, a text from a classmate. Is it true about your dad and Chloe? Emily's face pales, her eyes darting to Sarah. Mom, what are they talking about? Sarah's heart stops dead on Emily's confused, fearful expression, then cuts to Sarah's anguished face. Emily frozen, her phone clutched tightly, the classmate's text. Is it true about your dad and Chloe? Burning into her mind. Sarah's face is a mask of anguish as she reaches for her daughter. Emily, let me explain, Sarah begins, her voice trembling. Emily's eyes, wide with panic, dart to Sarah. Explain what, Mom? What's going on? Her voice cracks, a mix of fear and defiance. Sarah takes a deep breath, the weight of the moment crushing her. Your dad, he's been having an affair. With Chloe. The words hit Emily like a physical blow. She stumbles back, shaking her head. No. No way. Chloe's my best friend. Dad would never. Her voice breaks, tears spilling. You're wrong, Mom. You have to be. Sarah pulls out her phone, her hands shaking as she shows Emily the hotel photo. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I wish I was wrong. Emily stares at the image, her world collapsing. How could they? She whispers, her voice raw. She bolts upstairs, slamming her bedroom door. The camera follows Sarah as she sinks to the floor, sobbing, the sound of Emily's muffled cries echoing through the house. Later, Emily scrolls through her phone, deleting photos of Chloe, each swipe a stab of betrayal. A flashback shows her and Chloe at 13, painting each other's nails, promising to be friends forever. Back in the present, Emily hurls her phone against the wall, screaming, "Why?" her tear-streaked face. Chloe's world is unraveling as the truth spreads. In her apartment, pacing, her phone buzzing with unread messages from Emily. A knock at the door startles her. It's Emily, her face red with rage and tears. "How could you?" Emily shouts, shoving past Chloe. "You were my best friend. My sister. And you're with my dad." Chloe's eyes fill with tears, her voice desperate. I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to happen. I was messed up, my parents were fighting, and Mark, he was just there and I." "Stop." Emily cuts her off, her voice shaking. "You don't get to make excuses. You betrayed me. Both of you." Chloe reaches for her, but Emily pulls away. "I loved you," Emily whispers, her voice breaking. "I trusted you." She storms out, leaving Chloe crumpled on the floor, sobbing. At school, the fallout intensifies. Whispers follow Chloe in the halls, classmates staring and gossiping. Her soccer coach pulls her aside, voice stern. "I heard about the drama, Chloe. You're off the team until this settles. We can't have distractions." Chloe nods, numb, her world shrinking. Later, Chloe tries to text Mark, but he doesn't respond. A flashback reveals a moment weeks ago, Chloe pleading with Mark to end it, his dismissive reply, "It's just fun, Chloe. Don't make it a big deal." Now, alone, she stares at the silver bracelet, then throws it into a drawer. Sarah and Emily navigate the wreckage of their lives. Them in the kitchen, an awkward silence hanging between them. Emily picks at her breakfast, her eyes red from crying. Sarah reaches for her hand, but Emily pulls back. "I don't want to talk about it, Mom," she says, her voice flat. Sarah nods, her heart aching. "I'm here when you're ready, sweetie." At a therapy session, Sarah sits across from a kind-eyed counselor, Dr. Ellis. "I don't know how to help her," Sarah admits, tears falling. "She's so angry, and I can't fix this." Dr. Ellis leans forward. "You can't fix it, Sarah, but you can be her anchor. Let her feel what she needs to feel. Trust takes time." Meanwhile, Emily attends soccer practice, her focus off. Her teammate, Mia, pulls her aside. "I heard about Chloe. That's messed up, Em. You okay?" Emily shrugs, but Mia's kindness cracks her armor. I don't know who to trust anymore," Emily admits, her voice small. That evening, Sarah and Emily watch an old movie, a small step toward normalcy. Emily leans against Sarah, a silent gesture of connection. "I'm sorry, Mom," she whispers. "I know this hurts you too." Sarah pulls her close, tears in her eyes. "We'll get through this, Em. Together." The camera pans to their clasped hands, a fragile bond amid the pain. 6 months later, the dust is settling. Sarah signing divorce papers at Rachel's office, her face a mix of relief and sorrow. "You're doing the right thing," Rachel says, squeezing her hand. "You and Emily deserve better." Mark has moved out, living in a small apartment. The camera shows him alone, staring at a photo of Emily, his face etched with regret. He tries calling her, but she doesn't answer. At his office, colleagues whisper about the scandal, and a client meeting is cancelled. His reputation is crumbling. Emily, meanwhile, is finding her footing. She's back on the soccer team, her focus sharper. At a game, Sarah cheers from the stands, her pride evident. After, Emily hugs her, a genuine smile breaking through. "Thanks for being here, Mom," she says, and Sarah's eyes glisten. Chloe's absence looms large. Emily avoids her old haunts, but one day, she spots Chloe at a cafe, looking worn. Their eyes meet, but Emily turns away, the pain still raw. Chloe, now working a part-time job, has lost her spark, the consequences of her actions etched into her life. At home, Sarah and Emily decorate for Christmas, a new tradition in their smaller, quieter life. The camera lingers on a new family photo, just the two of them, smiling. Sarah and Emily stronger, their bond forged in fire. Them on a road trip, the open highway stretching before them. Emily, now 17, laughs as she controls the playlist, singing off-key to a pop song. Sarah joins in, their laughter filling the car, a moment of pure joy. At a beachside cabin, they walk along the shore, the sunset painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. Emily pauses, her voice soft. I still think about them sometimes. Dad, Chloe. But I'm not as. Sarah nods, her eyes distant. I know, sweetie. It'll always hurt a little, but it doesn't define us. Emily takes her hand. You're enough, Mom. You always were. Back home, Sarah starts a new job, her confidence growing. Emily earns a soccer scholarship, her future bright. A letter from Mark arrives, apologizing and asking to see Emily. She reads it, then sets it aside, not ready to forgive but not consumed by hate. The end.